to show you the basics of a 3D pop-up using crossing slats. Crossing slats makes it possible to build complicated pop-ups like pirate ships and spheres in 3D. It does seem complex, but I'll go step by step showing the basic elements so you can run with it. Let's start. First, here are the materials that I'll be using. The black pen is just so you can see what I'm marking. I'll use a razor blade in place of an X-Acto knife, and I'm using printer paper for this example. A good shape to start with is a 5x5 cross slat cube because it's got all the basics in it. In the center of the cube you'll see a green cross made of 2 slats. I'll call these the bones. So I'll use 2 pieces of paper in green for my bones. The layer all the way around the bones in 4 slats is in red, and I'll call that meat. So I'll have 4 pieces of paper in red for my meat. The outside covering holding everything in with 4 slats, because it's a cube, is in blue, and I'll call that the skin. So I have 4 pieces of skin. In total, we have 10 equal-sized pieces of paper, 2 bones, 4 meat, and 4 skins. The meat and the bones have arms that hang through the skin's holes. I'm going to call the holes sockets, the holes on the skin. See the arms poking through? Okay. See how the green bone in the middle sticks through the skin socket? Let's make a template from that bone. Bones go through the center of each other and the center of all the slats. So in step 1, find the horizontal center and draw a line through it, like this. In step 2, decide how far apart you want the slats to be. I'm making mine 3 centimeters apart. So to the left and the right of the center line, make your marks. I'm making mine again at 3 centimeters to the left and 3 centimeters to the right. I'm making a 5x5 slat cube, so I'll make another equidistant mark to the left and right of the marks I just made. So here I go with 3 centimeters to the left, 3 centimeters to the right. Step 3 is really important. Think from the base upward. Decide how high you want your arms to be raised. They can be high or low to the ground. Measuring from the bottom edge, make your mark for the armpit line. I set mine at 3 centimeters. Now decide how thick you want your arms to be. From the armpit line, measure upward to the desired arm thickness and draw a line across. I'm setting mine at 2 centimeters. From the edge of the paper to the first vertical mark, draw a line parallel to the center line. Then trace the lines, making the arm. Do the same to the other side of the bone. So in step 4, we'll be making the teeth. So remember those marks equidistant from the center line? Just draw them down along with the center line to the bottom of the paper. So now you have your teeth, and then cut to remove the excess like this. Just cut along the lines, and now you have your arms sticking out. And then the next step is to cut the lines between the teeth like this. As an option, you can also widen the gaps between the teeth. I like to do that because it makes assembly much easier down the line. So I just cut out a slit right next to the original cut and pinch and twist the slip of paper off of the template. It's easier to remove it this way. In step 7, first mark the top of each of the bones, and then put the template on top of the other bone and mark out where the arms are, like this. Next, flip the template over so the teeth are pointing up, and then mark out the teeth. This is how you get the opposing sides of the teeth. Okay, so then just make all the cuts at this point. Don't forget to cut the teeth apart so that the 2 sections can fit into each other. Okay, so this is how you get that cross-hatching kind of action. We'll troubleshoot later if the heights aren't perfect. Step 8, Divide the meat into 2 equal sets. Use one bone as a template for one set and use the other bone for a template on the other set, and then cut them out. Okay, step 9, make the legs. Use one of the bones to transfer the measurements from the bone to the skin with regard to its edges, like this. And then mark out the legs. Step 10 is where we'll be making gluing tabs or feet, just to stay in the theme. The feet can be any length that you want them to be. I'm going to make mine 3 centimeters from the bottom, marking upward, and then drawing a line across, marking out where the foot will be, and then the new bottom is going to be right there. Step 11, make the sockets that the arms are going to go through. So they should be the same size as the arms. So just put your template right there and then mark out the top and the bottom of the arms like that. Then draw a line across to meet those marks. Place the template back on the skin, line it up with the new bottom like this, and then trace the gaps between the teeth onto the template, and that's where the sockets are going to be. Step 12 is cut and remove the excess from the bottom, and then take your razor or X-Acto and slice the sockets open. I'm going to make my sockets a little bit wider, just like I did with the teeth. Now back to the legs. The legs have knees, and the knees are really where the 2 legs will intersect and swing around each other. So pick a spot on the leg and mark it. Take that measurement and transfer it to the other side of the paper, to the other leg, and then draw a cutting line from the bottom to the knee, and then on the other leg from the top down to the knee. Then make your cuts. I still like to make that extra gap to make assembly easier. And now I have one template for the skin. Take that template, put it on another skin, and transfer all the marks so the 2 will be exact duplicates of each other. So just make all the cuts, and don't forget the sockets, and you'll have duplicates, 2 exact skins. The next thing to do is take the last 2 skins, pile them on top of each other, then take the template and place it on top like this, and then mark out the feet and the sockets. This keeps moving. Okay. So just the feet and the sockets. Then take your template and then flip it upside down. Line up to the bottom, the new bottom, like that. And now mark out the knees. So you got the knees going down and the other knee going up. And you can make your cuts from here. Having the slices for the knees go in opposite directions on the same side, like this, will help the 2 sections connect with each other. So I'll show you that in a minute. But right now, pile them on top of each other so all the feet are on top of each other. Then bend the feet back. That way you can see the bottom. Okay, so then take the bones and the meat, pile them all together so the arms all match together like this, and then place the skin on the pile of the meat and bones so that the bottoms line up. This is so we can get a flat top on the cube. Just mark out the top along the top of the skin and cut it out. I found that this is really helpful. Before assembling the skin, just fold the legs backward. You don't have to, but it's helpful. Then take the side of the skin that has the feet and with the knee slices going in opposite direction, and then put them together. Do the same thing to the other side with the feet, and then slip the two halves together like this. There you go. You have the corners with the feet on opposing corners. Okay, so okay. Trouble. My teeth are too short on one side. So I'll take my template that has the long teeth and I'll just transfer it over to my other side like that and cut those out. So now the teeth will intersect perfectly and the lengths are correct. Great. To assemble the cube, slip the arms to the parallel sockets with the teeth facing up. There. Now, with the teeth that are facing down, install the remaining bones and muscles. Slip the teeth into the opposing slots and slip the arms into the parallel sockets. It's okay. Just be calm. Just keep going. This will work. There's a lot of moving little pieces, so it can be frustrating doing this, but it'll work. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It's together. Yes. Okay. Okay, so now it's perfect. My legs are too fat, so I'm gonna cut them down, narrow them down. So this is how you do it. You just grab the legs on one side and you flatten it out like that. Then you can cut the corner. Just make the legs a little bit thinner. Don't cut them all the way to the corner. That'll be bad. But just kind of thin them out. You just lift the legs and then it'll go flat and you can cut the fat ones. Okay. If only you could do that in life. Anyway, so there it is. You can also make the arms shorter. I like that they're long right now, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so attaching it to the card. First thing you need to do is line up the corner with no feet to the fold of the card. Make sure that's all lined up. And then kind of squeeze the structure so that it's exactly the way you want it to stand in the card. Once you have that, take a pencil and mark out the corner of the right or the left side of the structure. I'm going to make this mark bigger so you can see it, but you can just leave it in pencil. Then you line up that line with the bottom of the structure and make sure that the gluing tabs are facing the middle like this. And put glue on the feet, close the card, wait for it to dry, then flip it over so you can put glue on the other feet. Then close the card and wait for the whole thing to dry before opening it. And there it is. The cube is done. Notice how it lines up perfectly with that mark that you made and it's standing the way that you want it to. Practice the cube and you'll get better at it. Then you can start shaping the top. Remember in step 19, if you leave it as it is or even shorten the skin, you can make a shape out of the top. So like my popcorn example, it has a peak right at the top, and then that means that the meat and the bones had to be of varying sizes. So let me take that out so you can see it. Oh, one thing is the skin can be substituted with open box shape or open cylinder shape, so you don't have to make skin. Okay, to create the peak, I took the bones and just made them taller and made my meat shorter than the bones. Sometimes you luck out like I did with the dome. I actually was able to get away with just the one size for the bones and the meat, and it still looked like a dome, so that worked out really well for me. So you can see I took it out and they're all exactly the same size. So once you get the hang of it, crossing slats are really fun because you can make a variety of new shapes that you can't really do with the other pop-up shapes. Thanks for watching. Bye! Hit like or dislike for this video, leave me a comment if you have any questions, or share my video with your friends. Subscribe to my channel if you want notifications for new videos, or just check out my channel, Square Type.